I've been living with my girlfriend for over 2 years now, and we've dated for about 6 years since we met in college. We've both been out of college for roughly 2 years now, and one of my friends who moved out of the country announced he was coming back to our country for a visit, and I offered for him to stay. Girlfriend has never met friend. We'll refer to him as Larry. However, Larry and I had Skypes, and girlfriend was often around and got to know Larry through me. Anyways, we were all excited. Fast forward, Larry arrives, everything is well, but about 2 to 3 weeks into his stay, I became increasingly uncomfortable with the way Larry and my girlfriend would act together. I vented my feelings to my girlfriend, who assured me nothing was going on, and I didn't say anything to Larry. Eventually, Larry's little nuances got to me. We'd have little feuds over nothing. And I asked Larry to move out and find somewhere else to stay. Cue some bitterness between Larry and I. Now, Larry left last weekend. He's gone. A few days back, I noticed my girlfriend's Facebook had some messages from Larry. When I asked my girlfriend about it, she quickly closed the window and told me it's nothing. Just Larry trying to get an idea as to why I was bitter at him. In my mind, I felt he was exceeding his boundaries as my friend, so I decided to cut him out. My girlfriend would scold me and call me a miserable person. We even had a little fight about it when I told my girlfriend I didn't want Larry to stay over the night before his flight. Girlfriend eventually apologized, but I was still disappointed that she didn't have my back or understand my feelings. Anyways, I should go back to the Facebook messages. Today I was just shutting down our PCs after the girlfriend had gone to bed, and my curiosity got the worst of me. I know this is bad, and opened up her Facebook. She was already logged in, and I noticed a message from Larry that was unread. I opened it and went through their conversation history, and this is where I wanted to throw up. Basically, they met up at least once behind my back when I was on a business trip and wanted to coordinate another visit, but my girlfriend didn't feel it would work out. Larry replies back that he needs to hold her again and misses her very much, calling her things like sweetie. I was livid. Words cannot describe how I felt reading that out. The combination of anger, despair, sadness, betrayal, and pure rage was too much for me to take. My girlfriend had also sent her a photo of a campfire from this weekend, when we were together, that she took and sent to Larry saying, "I miss you." God damn it. I confronted the girlfriend, had to wake her up at 1 a.m. and ask her. At first she was sleepy and denied it all, but when I told her I'd read her convo history and that I was sorry for violating her privacy but had to know why she was keeping this from me, things became clear in her mind that I was very hurt by all of this. I explained my feelings. I was hurt, betrayed. I housed this guy and showed him a good time for a month, and even after all of this, you told me I was the crazy one. Now my worst suspicions are true. My friend Larry is obviously cut from my life. Can't have toxic people like that around. But my girlfriend is another problem. I'm seriously head over heels in love with her and don't want to lose her. On the other hand, my heart is torn and I have too much self-respect to continue dating her. She completely thrashed my trust into the ground, and what's worse is humiliated me by going after one of my friends that I let stay with me. I feel like I've freaked myself in a lot of ways and that I should have seen this coming, but I was naive. Anyways, we both have to work tomorrow, but I'm seriously at a loss for words. Girlfriend and I have only spoken a bit. I mean, it is late at night. It's about 4:15 a.m. while I type this. I've gotten zero sleep tonight, even after driving around and bawling my eyes out in an empty parking lot. What she did tell me was that she didn't think I loved her anymore, that every time she tried to talk to me about something serious, I'd make jokes and laugh it off. I know this isn't easy to hear, and I admit to being immature, but damn, I thought we were stronger than this. I guess the lesson has been learned. Regardless, I'm at a loss for words. I feel like us breaking up is inevitable, and it makes things so complicated seeing as I just bought this house about 10 months ago and we shared a dog. She's even driving a car that I gave her. I know splitting things up won't be easy, and to be honest, I don't want her to go. But like I said, my brain is telling me this is what we need, yet my heart feels otherwise. Relevant comments. Somebody said, "You react very well to these situations. Be careful about yourself. Force yourself to eat if you are not hungry. Do exercise for tire your body and sleep, or take a cold shower. It helps to sleep too. Stay strong. Once she moves out, go no contact with her." Confront Larry, let him know that since now he is dead for you. Be brave. Original poster replied, ha, ha, thanks. I'm honestly trying. I didn't want her to hear me cry in the other room, so I had to drive around and let it all go. I felt a lot better after a nice long cry fest, and I drove home with some of the most puffy eyes I've ever had. Even crying was weird. It's almost like I had two voices inside of me, one saying, cry, let it all go, and the other saying, this cheating puss isn't worth your tears, man up. I know that sounds messed up, but I'm trying to cope. This is all so damn fresh right now. In regards to Larry, I actually messaged him just asking what is going on between them to give him a chance to explain, but I'm realizing this is an exercise in futility. Sigh. There's literally nothing he can say that would result in me feeling any better, so I guess I don't even want to hear his crap. I'll send him a short message telling him just that. He's dead to me. A commenter. That's fine. You got a lot on your mind, and to be unable to sleep is to be expected. Right now, you're kind of pacing yourself. You don't want to burn out. Just keep a steady flow until you're ready to rest up. It's fine to not know what you're going to do. What matters is you're giving yourself a chance to process this without having to worry about work. It's going to take time, but you've given yourself a day to just process and get a head start. Have you got in touch with anyone who can help you today? Original poster replied, yeah, I'm just staring at my dog snoozing away and wish I could just be this calm. I can tell my body wants sleep, but it's my mind pacing that is keeping me up right now. I haven't contacted anyone yet. I know most of my friends have to work today, so I don't think I'll get to see anyone. I don't want to sound brutal, but I want her out as soon as possible. Is this reasonable? I know she has to work and I respect that, but I want to be civil, but at the same time, I want her to get the heck out of my house as soon as freaking possible. My emotions are getting in the way of my typing now. I don't want to come off as an asshole. I'm thinking one day isn't enough notice for her to pack and move out, so I might allow her to stay another night. As it stands right now, I'm the one sleeping in the spare bedroom while she sleeps in the master. Good points all around, and yeah, there's literally nothing on paper that ties her to this house or any of my property. The problem is she's paid for maintenance on the car I let her use. So I think it would be fair if she just paid me a nominal amount for it. So recently we did the timing belt and an exhaust fix. The total cost was about $1,200. I would feel like I'm stealing this amount of money from her, especially since I don't even need this car and would sell it immediately. Update 20 days later. It's been almost 20 days since this all went down. I've had a lot of time to myself and my job keeps me on the road. So I've had a few business trips in the meantime to keep me distracted. I'm so far enjoying my new lifestyle that I'm trying to build for myself. There is a lot of free time I have, and I'm enjoying having full control over my schedules and tasks that I do day to day. Being able to plan for just myself is alleviating, and I'm starting to look back and see all the flaws that were present in my past relationship that now I really see as red flags. Overall, I was pretty unhappy when I was with my ex. I'm recognizing that now. I bared with the unhappiness and kept going because I felt that this is what normal guys do in long-term relationships. The sunken cost theory. Also, I thought she was loyal. So, case in point, I didn't see any point to break things up. So, from that point of view, I recognize I have some personal faults that I need to fix in order to consider myself healthy again. I met someone when I was on one of my trips and we made love in my hotel room. It was one of the worst sensual experiences I've ever had. It was way too early after the breakup, and in my mind, I was just thinking I'd be horny and bang someone else and give myself a break. The second we started to have intimacy, I felt myself get hit with a tidal wave of emotion. I immediately thought of my ex, since she was the only person I'd have intimacy with before. The actions, thrusting, etc., were so enamored in my head from being with her, looking down and realizing I wasn't made me sick and very upset. I couldn't finish. I ended up rolling over and trying to hold back my tears. Thankfully, she was understanding when I told her I just got out of a relationship, and she decided to leave without any commotion. She was even nice enough to tell me she knows how it feels, and that it will get better with time. Definitely not going to call her again. I regret even putting myself in that scenario, but granted, I learned something about myself afterwards. My ex didn't really have any of her own friends. This should have been another red flag. She was constantly around my friends, and being honest, I didn't really mind. But now that I see how broken that is for a person to lack any best friend or a group of people they saw before we got together and continued to be together, my friends have always been there for me, even the ones I knew before my ex. Granted, she's now on her own. I have no idea who she's talking to about this whole scenario, aside from her immediate family, and I don't really care. I've had the talk with the few mutual friends me and Larry had. Everyone is pretty much shocked, but they also told me that they had a feeling something was going on, but Larry would lie to them when they'd ask. Larry has since tried to reach out to some of them and try to rectify the situation, but they've already heard the story from me first, so most of them have cut Larry out of their lives. But to be honest, I'm not very close with these people and don't plan on growing to be more close to them in the future. Larry was the only crux of our relationship, so if they do continue and associate with them, I would definitely not be happy and wouldn't mind cutting off contact with them as well. This actually became an issue with one of our mutual friends. We'll call him John. John's a good guy. We have similar interests, and he was around a lot of the time Larry was. John was over at my house this past weekend since he just picked up his new car near a dealership near my place. He lives 1.5 hours away. So John and I are shooting the crap, and it's kind of inevitable for us to talk about what happened with me. He did bring up how he talked to Larry and how Larry is still lying to him. This kind of irked me. I told John I didn't care about Larry and that if he's going to continue to associate with Larry, then I can't see us continuing to be friends. John was obviously a little upset by this, saying he just can't process what happened and wants to give Larry a chance to explain himself. I told him that's fine, but again, it's like he's condoning these actions, and if he wants to get burned in the future, that's his own decision. I just don't want Larry around me in any shape or form, and if John wants to be around me, he needs to understand that. It's not like Larry broke my car and refuses to pay. The guy stabbed me in the back, and I can't ever forget that, even if in time I find it in myself to forgive Larry, which right now I can't. Larry is dead to me. We talked only briefly after I kicked my ex out, and it was mostly us cursing at one another. Very childish. Like I said, I knew I wouldn't get any closure out of talking to the guy and hearing him try to explain himself. Larry and my ex are both very broken people. They blame others for their own unhappiness and feel it's justified when their behaviors cause others to become upset. Now, as for me, well, my head is a damn tornado about 12 hours of every day. I've been smoking pot to keep my cool and enjoy video games, but there's a lot of time when I avoid it altogether because I know I feel depressed and smoking pot will only drive me to be more sad since I'll dwell on my feelings in the past. Moving on is one of the hardest things I've had to do in my whole life. I've heard stories from others saying how they are happy to hear that this happened to me. Why? Well, they've had the same thing happen, except after 30 years of marriage and 3 kids. So they felt like they were not only robbed of some of the best years of their life, but now they also have a financial obligation towards the person who manipulated and hurt them the worst. I don't feel better hearing about how worse it could have been, but I'm happy we never had any kids or decided to marry. I definitely would have been dealing with another sideshow of a scenario. Here's another kicker. My ex's sister, only 2 years older than her, did the exact same thing at the start of this year to her own husband, literally 3 days after we got back from their destination wedding. She met another guy at their wedding and decided this was the guy for her, banged him, still went through with the wedding, and afterwards everyone got back, broke it off with the dude. I didn't know the full story, and at the time we just moved into our new home, so I invited her to stay with us until she got back on her feet. When she started seeing this new guy, I was really uneasy about it. This was also complicated because she was living here and didn't seem to have any plans to move out. I had to coach her sister on how to get a loan for a down payment, how to talk to landlords, etc., etc. Very immature family, this should have been another huge red flag, but I ignored it and had to deal with the consequences of it. I've actually reconnected with her ex-husband, named Tim. Tim and I were friends throughout our relationships with these sisters, and I was sad to see Tim go the way he did, but I was on the sisters' side by association, so even if I felt things weren't right, there's nothing I could have done about it. In retrospect, I should have kicked both of these crazy bitches out and told them to get a life. More about me, I'm hitting the gym, trying to eat healthy, having more one time with my dog bro, and overall just trying to take it easy. This is such a huge change in my lifestyle that it's not something I can adjust to quickly. And even though my work schedule has me flying somewhere new every week, it's really tough still managing everything and ensuring I'm not stressing myself out with my own expectations. I'm still used to having my ex-girlfriend's voice in my head, telling me to rush home and be with her. I've been having a lot of dreams where I see her and Larry together. They're both tormenting me. I've had dreams where I murder Larry, I crush his skull with a hammer, and run over his head with a truck. I feel bad about these dreams because even though I want revenge, I don't like causing pain to other human beings. It's not like I can't hurt him, but I've hurt others in the past. Sports. And I never took pleasure in that, even though my teammates did at times. So it's just not in me. Although I'd love to visit him in his home country and kidnap him and cue some torture. These are just weird things I say to keep myself from going insane. I still feel a lot of pain and guilt about what happened, and I shouldn't have too. This is a process, I know. I always go back and read the original thread I started when I'm feeling weak and want to text, call the ex. I've held strong on the no contact, but a few times I did message her. Once when I found a receipt from a couple's massage retreat when I was out of town, on another occasion, I just wanted to let her know that I found another piece of evidence. Really, there was no point to this. I was just in pain and feeling weak. She lied through her teeth about everything, told me how she wanted me back and how she wants to end herself. It felt kind of good hearing that, but still, it's a twisted feeling and I know I shouldn't be talking to her. She is toxic, she lies, and had no problems deceiving me. I just feel like such a fool for spending so many years with her. And to top it off, the amount of humiliation I feel when I imagine her with Larry is just beyond this world. I used to have a lot of self-confidence, but now I feel like a literal piece of crap. I feel used, worthless, ready to be discarded. Almost as if I deserve this to happen sometimes. Other times I'll rebound from this and try to build myself up. The best times I feel is when I'm in the gym or running outside. Thinking about the two of them has fueled a few good sets for me, and I hope to continue taking advantage of this hate for a bit longer. Relevant comments. Somebody said just be careful and don't make the mistake of getting back together with her. And I'd honestly avoid too much socialization. It's surprising how easy my friends have been sucked back into unhappy relationships after swearing they'd never get back together. Just take your time. Continue to live your life to the fullest and don't look back. Original poster replied, "You're right, and even in my original thread a lot of commenters said the same." I've had friends in real life say the same as well. Even as I type this, I want to just call her and tell her how much of a puss she is, but I know it's all futile. No contact is the way to go. Somebody said, "Hey man, I was actually about to message you last night to see how you're doing. All things considered, you're doing just fine and hanging in there. I wouldn't sweat things too much. Everything is going along just as it needs to, and it looks like you're handling it just well." It sucks to feel used and to be betrayed. The trick is to come around that it wasn't you who was discarded. You were the one that got rid of a couple of losers. You're going to go places to great places, and they were just too chicken shit to keep up with you. And while it sucks that things ended this way, look on the bright side. You're going to meet a girl in time who is going to be what you need.